Abusia mincha na mo akwaba sonko so emra eye be media GH so abusia oral team your operation recover all loots and mo nsema ba betodwa eye papa Ohene Ntow e dey respond and asebeka say reply e dey ama eye the minorities that the MPP are all chere say dey na MPP for no e complain too much because na ebi mo ababonten appointees ni bi ababonten mo e chere say oral team no eye unconstitutional eye unlawful hefa na wo eye constitution ni mu say say yeti ekuo bi sei e de hwehwe enkofo enkratam enioma eye confidential to ono nipa na waba bedi eye aban mu no edi enti ene ese hwehwe ne nkratam na hemfa ena wo constitution ni mu a ekyerese ese bibisa na oral team na bomode a enkyero mu we ena maye papa ye Ohene Ntow ababonten o de respond de ba momo a o kyerese edi enti ena MPP fo no minority edi enti ona omo complaining about the oral team edi enti and I say oral team papa His Excellency John Dramani Mahama eti and I say the MPP, some of the MPPs are complaining too much and in some more air canfa a oral team no yaminim rekoneni chese papa aba because papa the respond that come on e dey ama MPP for person because aba one person ekọ na yokoti ensem no mu enchire mu ono a dey atudwa e wo live TV na se wi na se wadunche bia abamode na ya che ya aduna ba hye nso ama se ha be media GH so say and then they come on the channel this one you best subscribe like no abo for pensem ni bi atie no anya bi atie be media GH so yeah that's it.
Thank you very much. I think those of us sitting in the studio and everybody listening to the discussion this morning can make sense of where the issues are. And even if we haven't gotten into the real details of it yet, where the processes are taking us. First of all, having seen what is before us now, I would say that it was a very good thing that President Mahama, and at the NDC, I'm told it was part of your manifesto, right?
Yes.
So it is a very good thing, because why? The fact that there is a great deal of public interest, one, and two, public concern about perceived or real improper acquisition of state properties by certain interests, individual, basically private. That concern is all over the place. We know it. We have had all the institutions that the MPP is talking about. Who has even raised these issues? Some of the issues that we are hearing right now, I doubt whether if oral did not exist, whether we would ever have gotten to even know about them.
Absolutely.
There are people who have been battling their cases in court. And it is quite clear that when you go to court against somebody who is fighting you over your property, has political backing, you are up against a very strong wall. And it seems like the evidence that is coming up would suggest that a lot of the people who have had advantage of some of the state properties we are talking about either appear to or indeed do have real political backing from the states and state actors. So I listened to the legal issues that MPP raised, and then I listened to Lawyer Kubu, who is himself a lawyer and a member of Oral, and then a Lawyer Dafemepo here. And it is quite clear to me that the NPP's initial argument hasn't even got two legs to stand on.
Hasn't got two legs?
It doesn't have two legs to stand on. I mean, they are question of legality. I'm not a lawyer, but I can reason. You know, I've listened to details of the Whistleblowers Act. I've listened to provisions of the National Constitution that actually enjoins citizens to feel or be obligated to provide information for the protection of state property.
Yeah.
Even without oral.
Thank you.
I mean, without a committee instituted by president-elect or sworn-in president or whatever it is. I'm looking at some of these issues and I'm asking, so what is MPP really complaining about? Is it their concern that indeed public property is being misappropriated, or that they have a vested interest in some of the issues that we're looking at? I mean, when you come across a certain way, if you don't take care, people will question your sincerity.
Well, they said they are not against accountability.
Yeah, so that is why I'm saying that if they had taken their time to look at some of the basic laws,
Yes.
whistleblowers, Lawyer Dafemekwa has read
The Constitution.
portions of Article 142 of the Constitution. It is not difficult to understand. You don't need to be a lawyer to understand the provisions of these laws. And a lot of the people who are making this case for MPP are very educated people. Some are even lawyers. They put aside all of these legal basis and just jump to do mere political propagandizing. Because now the facts are emerging that indeed citizens, ordinary citizens, even have a duty. And a person is elected as president. We are in a transition process. Everybody recognizes the authority of that president already. The mandate that the people gave this president additionally was even so overwhelming. So can we say that the things that were taking place within the transitional period, because the president hasn't taken over, so we will not recognize them?
It's actually covered by the transitional
provision. Exactly. So some of these things, if you want to make a case, I think that the MPP in opposition now should rather take their time. They shouldn't rush to kick at anything that flies around. Otherwise, they will be making more mistakes. Because I listened to all of the arguments that are being made for one district, one factory, was there a law? Or one agenda, one was there a law? And these were all legitimate. Would you say that because there were no laws, then they were improper? No. So I think that we need to applaud President Mahama and his committee. Just that, I would also say, we heard stories about party foot soldiers also rampaging certain public properties, especially.
They were called to order.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and they have stopped since.
And also, I was just wondering, sometimes you want to find out from oral whether those people appear to be linked to them or they were operating.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, so Barton, some people tended to feel that those groups were feeling emboldened remotely or indirectly by oral. And that now that the president himself has given instructions for a committee to go into this, we will also help. We are party people, we're also interested. And then, so I don't know whether oral has the power or the capacity to be able to call such people in order. But
No,
I'm
the
sure it is
president
the party
himself has called them to order.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they've stopped since about 2-3 weeks
Because
ago.
that was a big minus.
Yeah, there was never any such incident after about the 3rd of January.
Right.
Yes.
So that is important. But otherwise, I am saying that because the evidence that is coming will show that a lot of the people who have benefited from such disposition or disposal of public property seem to have political backing, it has to take some action like what President Mahama has taken to be able to deal with like oral. Because you see, all of these things are happening. Even the police, I know, have property fraud. You might take your case to property fraud and it might not go anywhere. You go to the court. As I told you, there is a lot of political influencing now. People feel there's a perception that a lot of the courts now appear to be influenced by political power. So when people show up, I may not say that it has been peculiar only to the last regime, but the concern is that it's gotten to a certain magnitude. So when you look at those things and you look at the rate at which public properties have been disposed of within the last 8 years, you compare to previous times, it tends to send the signal that, look, the state is on sale. So I think the MPP should take their time.
On sale to the lowest bidders.
Not even to the highest bidder.
No.
You know, those for me are the real issues. Now, when in this particular case that Lawyer Kwebu referred to, when a state agency such as the Land Commission has moved in a particular case to admit that they probably would have made a mistake and would have sent a correction, and over and above that correction, a family's